game with 8 turnovers in the first quarter and then had just 1 in the second and only 2 or 3 in the third. What changed and why did it change?
We got a little more solid with the ball. We were a little loose with it early on. Their pressure bothers. They're forcing over 19 turnovers a game, so we felt like if we got even close to that, we were going to lose the game. That was going to be a big stat. And after the first quarter, it looked like we were going to surpass that by a long way. So, but we took a little bit better care of the ball. They do a good job. They try to do what we do. They try to apply pressure and create turnovers. They do a great job of it, but we handle it well the rest of the game.
Is this the most confident you've been in your player rotations in your tenure as Magic coach? And do you expect this type of consistency with your player rotations moving forward into the road trip?
Well, I'm not sure when CJ's going to come back, so I'm not sure how that's going to affect anything. And tonight I may have brought Evan back in the game if not for his hip. But we're starting to. It appears like starting to settle down a little bit. Andrew's done such a nice job off the bench, so you can count on him. I thought Aaron was great tonight behind Tobias, and so like I said many times, some players will show you the rotation at some point. Right now, good home stand, and but we're not the type of team where I can just pencil that in. We're still somewhat day to day, but hopefully you'll ask me the same question after the homestand at some point, and I'll still be confident.
Done some good things lately with the 3-game winning streak and first winning month, but how much of your preaching to them is about long way to go early in the season, staying hungry?
Well, we've talked about that. The guys know that. We did what we had to do. We talked about this being a 3-game season. We came home and trying to get all 3 games, and so we did that. And now we've got a long trip, day-wise, 5 games, and all teams we feel like we can beat. But if we're not playing well, it could go either way for us. So we just got to continue to focus on how we're playing and taking care of what we can control and what we can control, and then hope for good results.
Beginning of the third quarter, it seemed like you guys kind of came out slow again. Boston didn't take advantage. You get to that timeout. What was the tone in that timeout? Because afterwards, you guys just came out and kind of stormed the castle down.
Coach was angry during that time, but the guys responded. It's the second game in a row when Channing is, kind of taking the lid off for us in the third quarter. He knocked a couple down. He did it again the other night. We still need to get to the bottom of that. It's that's such a critical part of the game. You're right. Boston didn't take advantage of it. Normally they would. Normally they would have. But we came out okay. We just were real sloppy. Kind of not in the right spots, not where we're supposed to be. But we got it corrected right away, and the guys responded well.
There was a similarity to these 3 home games. You were ahead wire to wire in the last 2, and ahead most of the time against the Knicks. Got contributions from a lot of guys. And all. What comes to mind is what maybe the team did in those 3 games versus before that?
Well, we have certain defensive things we'd like to get done in every game. Some defensive goals, and we were sharp most of the time in all 3 games. Our ball movement was pretty sharp in all 3 games. Victor coming off the bench, playing very, very well, playing at a high level. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. Tonight, for instance, they're an outstanding offensive rebounding team, but we did a good job of not giving. So there's certain things in each game that we've tried to take away from the opponent. The guys have done a pretty good job of that, and we've been able to, at least the last 2 games, not relax. You're never relaxed, but get into the fourth quarter with nice leads, and it's a good spot to be in.
Where has Andrew made his biggest improvement compared to the tape you saw last year since the start of preseason?
Well, I mentioned, I think to you before, Josh, maybe after just one of the practices, I'm not sure if it was postgame practice or what, but we just talked to him about kind of being more energetic all the time at shoot around, at practice, with his pre and post practice work when he gets into the game, and when he finally got an opportunity, he's done exactly that. He's been great in practice. He's stir himself up. He's a skilled offensive guy. Anybody can see that with his defense, which I don't think anybody before this year would have said Andrew was a high-level defender, but it's been very, very good. He gets out to shooters, and he helps control the ball. He's on the board. He's a bright guy, so he's almost always in the right spot in our schemes. So he's playing very well right now.
On this homestand, you've had 3 games that have felt at least pretty relatively comfortable compared to the other games this year. How does having that happen one after the other build consistency or build confidence in this team?
You know, it can, but I mean, the league is such an up and down. There's unless you're one of the top 3 or 4 or 5 teams that just, just knows what you're doing, and you kind of have it stuck on automatic. You have your style, you have your sort of your hierarchy on your team amongst your players, and guys know what everybody's going to do, and everybody's consistent, and you have high basketball IQs, and on the list goes. If you're in the group of the other teams, it can be a very up and down season, and we're on a nice uptick right now. We'd like to keep it going. We're hoping the guys are feeling good about themselves and confident. But you're always just one game away from going the other direction as well. So we've got to keep it all in perspective.
Coach, from we obviously didn't see a lot of Evan Fournier tonight, but from a European fan's perspective, what are you seeing in his development this season, and what more can we see from him?
He's been great. Again, the only reason I didn't bring him back in is we had a lead. He was nursing a sore hip, so otherwise he would have come back in the fourth quarter. He's shot the ball well for us. He's made big shots late in games. He's defended his spot. He's our best finisher at the rim amongst our guards. So he's a good, very good all-around player.
Everyone good?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.